Up, the show that brings you exclusive audio behind some of the key refereeing decisions in the Premier League. As always, I'm joined by Howard Webb, the Chief Refereeing Officer at PGMO, who we'll be hearing from very shortly. But before we get started, here's a quick reminder of who you'll be hearing from in today's clips. On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see subtitles from the officials in the VAR booth. And on the right-hand side, you'll see subtitles from the on-field officials. It's important to note that the referee does not hear everything that is said. But when the VAR is speaking directly to the referee, the VAR subtitle graphic will turn green. OK, first up, Sunday's game between Manchester City and Liverpool, and a Virgil van Dijk goal that was ruled out for offside interference by Andy Robertson.
Robertson's in line of vision right in front of the keeper. He's ducked under the ball. He's very, very close to him. I think he's line of vision. I think he's been impacted, mate.
Okay, so offside then.
I think offside.
On-field decision offside.
Checking the on-field decision of offside against Andy Robertson. Delay. So you got clear offside position. You got a movement. You got a high range to show how high he is in terms of line of vision.
Very close to Donnarumma.
He does.
I agree with the on-field decision. I think he's offside.
Virgil,
It's a clear, an obvious action which clearly impacts on the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Michael confirming the on-field decision of offside against Andy Robertson. He is in an offside position, very close to the goalkeeper, and makes an obvious movement directly in front of him. Check complete offside.
Big decision, Howard. I am strongly of the opinion that should have stood. What's your view on that?
Yeah, for sure, Michael, a huge decision, obviously, in a big game. We've known from our conversations before that offside, interfering with an opponent where the offside position player doesn't play the ball and the officials have to make a judgment whether the actions of that player impact an opponent are some of the most subjective decisions that we have to make. And therefore, it's no surprise that some people believe that this goal should have stood, as you've just said. So I think it's important that we look at the facts of what actually happened in this situation. We know the corner comes in and the ball reaches Van Dijk. As the ball's coming across the penalty area, the Manchester City players move out. They leave Robertson in that offside position in the heart of the 6-yard box. When Van Dijk heads the ball forward, that's the moment when we have to make an offside judgment about Robertson and about what he's doing there. We know he doesn't touch the ball, but what does he do? Well, for sure, as the ball moves towards him, 3 yards out from goal, right in the middle of the 6-yard box, he makes that clear action to duck below the ball goes just over his head. And the ball finds the goal in the half of the 6-yard box where he is. Then the officials have to make a judgment. Did that clear action impact on Donnarumma, the goalkeeper, and his ability to save the ball? And that's where the subjectivity comes into play.
OK, well, first of all, before we ask any more questions, let's just have a look at the offside rule here. It's mainly this bottom rule, isn't it? Making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. That's probably the one that relates to this incident. He's not making an action that impacts the ability of the opponent to play the ball. He's actually, if he's going towards the ball or making throwing a leg out, then I get it. But he's actually avoiding any interference with the ball. So that, to me, doesn't tick the box.
Well, he's certainly making an action. The action is one of ducking below the ball. The ball's coming towards him. He moves below the ball. It goes over his head. The issue with that, the officials have to judge, is does that position of Robertson there and the action of ducking below the ball impact Donnarumma? I think it's... Obviously, that's the conclusion they drew on that. They looked at that position, they looked at that action so close to the goalkeeper, and they formed that opinion. I know that's not a view held by everybody, but I think it's not unreasonable to understand why they would form that conclusion when the player is so close to the goalkeeper, the ball's coming right towards him, he has to duck to get out of the way of the ball, and they form the conclusion that that impacts Donnarumma's ability just to dive towards the ball and make that save. And then, of course, once they've made that on-field decision, the job of the VAR is to look at that and decide, was that outcome of offside clearly and obviously wrong? Only Donnarumma truly knows if he was impacted by this. And of course, we have to look at the factual evidence. And when we see that factual evidence of that position of the player ducking below the ball, so close to the goalkeeper, the VAR determines that the outcome of offside is not clearly and obviously wrong, and they stay out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we can quite clearly see, I've just sort of paused it on Virgil van Dijk heading the ball here. We can quite clearly see that Donnarumma has a clear view on it. So he's not really interfering there, although he is in line with the goal. But lots of goals have been given when players are in an offside position. And the ball's gone in. So he's quite clearly got a perfect vision there. And when we just forward a little bit, let's say, and he starts ducking, I mean, Donnarumma, I can't see any way at all why Andy Robertson affected Donnarumma in any way, shape or form. He's still diving regardless. And that's why I think the goal should stand. I hear your reasons why it might not have stood and why it didn't stand. But I think general consensus is that he didn't affect Donnarumma that much and that this goal should have stood.
And it's important, I think you made an important point about line of vision. You do hear the assistant, in this case, talk about line of vision. I agree with you. The line of vision normally would relate to the view being blocked of the ball. On that one, it does see the ball all the way, but the assistant also talks about other things, ducking below the ball, being close to the goalkeeper. Those in themselves can be enough to penalise a player for offside, interfering with an opponent, even if the keeper can see the ball coming all the way along. He's still in front of the goalkeeper. He still makes that ducking action. That could still cause hesitation from the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers work on reactions that make it possible to pull out some incredible saves, and that's the judgment formed on the field. So you're right about the line of vision, but there's other aspects that can also say that this is an offside offence, and that's why the VAR left it alone.
Last season, between Manchester City and Wolves, Arne Slot actually made this comparison, so it's probably worth just having a look at this. This goal was given offside in real time, and then the goal was changed, or the goal was given, let's say, on review. What's the difference?
I think there's a clear difference here in that the ball goes directly over Sarr's head, the goalkeeper, Jose Sarr's head. It doesn't go over Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is in an offside position when John Stones heads the ball forward. Importantly, he moves to the left away from the flight of the ball, as we're looking at it here, and the ball goes straight over Sarr. It doesn't go over the head of Bernardo Silva in the way that it went over the head of Robertson, who ducked below it. So I think it's difficult here to see this and think in any way that Jose Sarr is impacted by an action of Bernardo Silva. If the ball had gone over Bernardo Silva's head, maybe causing Jose Sarr to hesitate in case it hits Bernardo Silva, then we'd come out with the same outcome of check complete on the on-field decision of disallowed goal.
Howard Webb has addressed the controversy surrounding Virgil van Dijk's disallowed header during match officials, mic'd up, insisting that it was not unreasonable for the referee and VAR to rule the goal out. Webb explained that there was enough contact in the build-up to justify the decision, emphasizing that such calls depend on the referee's on-field interpretation. While acknowledging that it was a tight and debatable moment, he defended the officials' judgment, saying they acted within the laws of the game and in line with VAR protocols. However, Webb's comments have done little to cool the debate among fans and pundits. Many argue that the goal should have stood, calling the decision another example of VAR inconsistency that continues to frustrate clubs like Liverpool. With the title race heating up, every decision feels magnified, and Webb's remarks have only added fuel to the fire. As discussions rage on, one thing is certain: the controversy over Van Dijk's header is far from over, and the pressure on referees to deliver consistency is growing louder than ever.